Okay, here's the low down and skinny. If you've got an inferior group of people that wants to take over a neighborhood, here are the 5 phases of management. It's a system that they use to get people to leave the neighborhood that they don't want in there so that they can come live in it. I've seen these 5 phases before. I've seen this management before, and I was actually one of those people who had to move because I was unable to deal with it. Anyway, the 5 phases, basically, I'm just going to name them right now, and then later on I'll go into a description. Phase 1 is annoyance. Phase 2 is malicious annoyance. Phase 3 is harassment, gossip and harassment. Phase 4 is damage to property and graffiti. And the final phase is violence. And that could take the form of anywhere from vandalism to rape to murder. Those are the 5 phases. This particular neighborhood that I'm living in, it's Santa Fe and 53rd. I believe that we are on the first phase of an inferior group of people trying to take over the neighborhood. And that first phase is annoyance. You know, noise. Now, I'm not talking about machinery noise. I'm not talking about some guy enjoying his motorcycle, or or a guy who has an 8-cylinder truck that's kind of loud that he's going down the road with. I'm not talking about those kinds of noises. Those are normal everyday noises that we have come to accept in a society. And I'm not talking about machinery such as skill saws and drills and hammers. I'm not talking about that, because those are used for home maintenance, and people have a right to maintain their own homes. Now, what I'm talking about as far as annoyance, as far as noise is concerned, is when somebody is playing their music way too loud. This usually is taking place among the black youth of today. And it's catching on to the other races of youth. It's no longer a characteristic of black youth anymore. It used to be rock and roll, and now it's rap. And the reason why I say that it's rap is because it's the bass beat is on 440 rather than what we're accustomed to hearing. I believe that's 390. And it's an annoyance, one, because you can hear it from somebody's house when they have the bass turned all the way up, and it's booming from their house, and their windows and doors are closed, and it vibrates your house. That's what I mean by an annoyance. Now, these particular types of beats are also used for communication. So It might be used to say, we're having a meeting, or we're having a party at my house. Or there might be a drug dealer that's playing it, and he is just advertising that he has drugs and he's coming through your neighborhood, kind of like the ice cream guy. And then the third thing is, you got some guy who just, oh, he's got a conquest, in other words, and he's having sex in his house. And so he's using it, he's turning it up, and he's got the beat on, and he's letting people know that he's having sex with somebody. So those are this is what I've observed, that we're having a party, I've got drugs, or I'm having sex. That's basically what I've drilled it down to. Now, if you go over to their house and you talk to them and you tell them, hey, I don't really like your music, but if you could please turn it down, and some of them, they mistake you for turn it off, and I don't mean turn it off. I mean just turn it down to where you can enjoy it yourself. Because I don't like this kind of music, I never have, and I never will. And I always tell them, and when I ask them, I said, if I wanted to hear your music, I'd buy the CD. Which is what I told a neighbor 3 doors down. Then it kicked into phase 2, because now they know it bothers me. Now phase 2, it's no longer an annoyance. Now it's malicious. So what these people are doing, basically, is what they're doing is they're stopping off at their friend's house, and then before they leave their friend's house, they're turning it on, and then they're slowly driving past my house down the street with the bass up about as high as they can get it. And as I said, it's vibrating my windows, it's vibrating my doors, and it's vibrating my floors. And if I happen to be listening to some music within the realm of my own house for my own enjoyment, it's not bothering anybody else, it overpowers that music. And not only that, it destroys any peace of mind that I have, and it makes me angry. So that's malicious. Okay? So the reason I know that there's an inferior group trying to take over the neighborhood is because it's kicked into phase 2, malicious. Because these aren't decent people. They do things to get rid of you. Well, I purchased my house for the specific purposes of selling it to pay off my student loans. I can't move. And I'm not going to. So this is going to be a means of fighting. So if I don't sell my house and I don't move, if there is a real intention for this inferior group to move in the neighborhood and completely take it over, then the next thing that's going to happen is the music is going to continue, then it's going to be blaring, and then it's going to start moving into the area of vandalism and graffiti. Vandalism and graffiti, that's when this inferior group decides that a neighborhood belongs to them. And so what they do is they mark it with their graffiti, with their gang signs and their gang names. And what they're saying is, this belongs to me now. And so and then what this is designed to do is say, okay, well, they've now marked my property. And they're saying that it belongs to them now. And so what the homeowners can basically look forward to now is if he still doesn't move, then he's going to experience gossip and harassment, where he might be pointed out and accused of things that he didn't do. And oftentimes he's a cover. They're accusing and they're gossiping about him to cover something that they've done themselves, so that they can get away with it and they can incriminate somebody else with something that they didn't do. And if they can do it on somebody that they're trying to get out of the neighborhood, they're going to do it regardless of whether he's innocent or guilty. So like I said, it can either be phase 3 or phase 4 is graffiti and ownership and gossip and accusation, or it could be wrapped up together. It could be combined. Now, if the undesirable, if this group, this inferior group that's trying to move in, still has not gotten rid of all the people that they don't want in it, then they move on to phase 5. I've personally observed this. I wasn't actually a victim of it, but I knew when I was about to be. And so I moved because I had no help. Had no money, couldn't get a lawyer, blah, 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 and I didn't have a video camera, which I have right now. Phase 5 is when they move into violence. And that violence could mean vandalism, and it's beyond graffiti at this point. And the vandalism and graffiti may also include the gossip and the accusations that have been spread around about a person, and it may be put on their property as a mark. And then they try to incite violence against this person, so that the other members of the neighborhood or the community will have some sort of animosity towards this person. And then they themselves may also come by and damage the property, throw rocks through the windows, break the windows of a car, flatten the tires. They may even break in the home while the person is sleeping and beat him up, or even kill him. And if it's a female, particularly if she's viewed as a weak person and doesn't have anybody to come to her aid, they may go so far as to rape her and kill her. This has happened in Killeen, Texas, Coppers Cove, Texas, Temple, Texas, also in Belton, Texas. And it's been happening here in Lawton, Oklahoma as well. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I need evidence so that I can present it to a police officer or the police or to the community at a community watch meeting, so that they will understand that, hey, I'm not making things up. This is not something that I'm dreaming up. This is what is happening. And so I've been going through these phases for the last 13 minutes. I have 5 minutes left of a video here. So I'm going to wrap this up, and this will be part 1 of the video. And I'm going to load this up on my computer. Part 2 of my video will be actually capturing what I believe has moved into phase 2 of this inferior group trying to take over the neighborhood. And like I said, phase 2 is playing their music loud enough so that it bothers you, and they know that it bothers you. But they figure you're not going to do anything about it, or they figure that you can't do anything about it, so they're going to do it anyway. When it is time, when part 2 comes, this camera is going to be in this living room sitting on that coffee table. There will be no windows open. The sliding door is going to be shut. Everything will be closed up, and you're going to hear that music through this video camera as if it were coming from this house, or as if it were playing in this room. And then on the third video, because I'm not going to be able to catch the guy when he goes by, because I'm just going to open my door and he's going to shut off the radio and continue to go down the street because he doesn't want his information taken down. So last time he did it, I came out with a piece of paper and a pen, and he just shut off his music and disappeared. Well, the third video is going to be actually capturing the guy and his license plate on video to demonstrate that these people are being malicious with their music. And I'm going to reiterate again, you know, I may be just one guy, but I've got to fight with all I have now, because I purchased this house. This is my house. I'm paying the mortgage payments on a regular basis, and I moved into what I believe to be a decent residential neighborhood where I could have some peace of mind and some quiet, so that I could accomplish some things here. So whether I'm one man or I manage to get other people on my side, it's not going to matter at this point, because now I own a house. It's mine. And I'm not going to be able to sell it for the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm going to have to live here. So I might as well fight for my peace of mind. And hopefully maybe it will give the neighbors some peace of mind as well, and embolden them to stand up for themselves to put a stop to this. Because I know that many here don't enjoy the music, they don't like the music, and it disturbs their peace of mind as well as it disturbs mine. And that doesn't mean I'm crazy, and it doesn't mean they're crazy. It just means that the malicious music needs to stop. This is the end, part 1, of capturing the malicious music, which has probably moved into phase 2 in this neighborhood. Thank you.